Hello and welcome to Single Player. This week's episode is all about how the gears of fate will control your destiny. X-Men Destiny is an action RPG based out of Marvel's X-Men universe. In this game you get to choose which type of mutant you want to be. You can be a brand new mutant. You get to choose whether you want to join the X-Men or the Brotherhood during the course of the gameplay. So this game is supposed to be all about choice, and nerds all over the place would actually love this game. All they have to do is make it decent. It is such a great idea. And they couldn't even do that. The game's not broken, it's just bad. They made it this way on purpose as far as I can tell. The enemies are recycled like they're trying to save the environment. The campaign is repetitive beyond belief. Go here, beat up this many guys in this amount of time. Go here, beat up this many guys, we'll throw in a robot, and here's a boss battle. Wash, rinse, repeat. The camera angles actually work well and stick good with the action, but that really just lets you see the 2005 graphics really well. The collectibles that you go around and pick up are really kind of worthless. The suits that you get are just rehashes of existing characters from the X-Men universe. So why would I want to dress my character up that is supposed to be new and fantastic like a crappy remake of an already existing character? The X genes that you get really don't seem to make that big a difference. Even when you spend your experience points to upgrade those or your powers, it just doesn't make that big a difference. The voice work and dialogue is really bad, and I can't even... Why? Why is it so bad? Why do you sound so monotonous? Why do you have no emotion? Please, for the love of God, feel something. The story is good, but it's told so bad you just really won't care. There's no create a character, which I really feel that if it's all about choice that there should be. Instead, what they've given you is 3 characters that you really just don't care about. I mean, this game is supposed to be targeted towards nerds primarily, and they've given you your 3 character choices are the big stocky football player, this anti-mutant guy, and a short Asian girl who always wears a scarf covering half of her face no matter what suit you put her in. Really? At what point did that seem like a good idea? So I always try to never truly just 100% bash a game. I always like to try to find at least something good about it and highlight that, because for the most part, a game is usually good for someone. There are very few that really just aren't good for anyone. This just happens to be one of the exceptions to those rules. Now, if you're a nerd, you're going to want to play the game eventually and have it in your collection just because you're a nerd and it's an X-Men game. You have to have it. You don't have a choice. I do recommend, however, waiting until it's about $20 because it's just really not that much fun. The concept has a lot of potential, and maybe if they make a sequel they can actually fix a lot of that stuff, but as far as I can see, the only destiny this game has is failure. The next game we're going to talk about is Gears of War 3. Now, there's not really a whole lot to say about Gears of War 3 except it's the rest of Gears of War 2. Not much that I can tell has really changed, but did it really need to? If you're following this for the story, then you'll get an ending with the subtle hint of a prequel in the future. The gameplay is solid as it was before. The complaints about the cover mechanics seem to have been improved, but I think that's actually due to better map design than actually tweaking that part of the gameplay mechanic. There are a couple of new monsters, the guns have been somewhat tweaked with a couple of new ones, but nothing really major. If you've never played the series before, I don't recommend that you start here, but if you want to, you'll be missing a lot of the story, but you'll still find a solid gameplay experience. The gameplay is still slower than a lot of third-person shooters, and you'll need to adjust the way these characters kind of lumber around. But once you get the hang of the controls, you learn how to actually speed up the action. Multiplayer is pretty much the same experience as previous, but I think I do actually like the maps here better. For those unaccustomed, this can take some adjusting. The weapons are very risk and reward, such as the sniper rifle can be a one-shot kill, but it's a bolt action. So you really got to be on your toes. And also, you can actually get hurt by your own explosives, which is kind of a shame. All in all, it's a good game with no real complaints anywhere. And lastly this week we have Trinity, Souls of Zil-Ol. Now this game was actually released in March, and it was made by the Tecmo Zoe combination thing that they now have. And it got okay reviews by most people, but it's different than what they normally do with the whole Dynasty Warriors thing. So I thought I'd give it a chance, because I want to encourage change. So I picked this game up and I put it in. I played it for what I thought was about an hour and a half. And I said, this game's really not good. The graphics are subpar, the particle effects are kind of bad, the story moves along slow, the dialogue's hokey. This game's really not that good. I really thought they could have done a better job. So, I turned the game system off, and I turned around and looked at the clock and realized it hasn't been an hour and a half, it's been 4.5 hours. That can't be right. If there's a time lapse in my brain of time for playing a game, that would usually indicate fun was being had. And it didn't seem like I was having fun. So, the next day after work, I got home, I put it in, and I started playing it again. Repeat of the same. I play through, it sends you back to the same levels over and over. I'm like, why are they recycling all this stuff? They do at least put different monsters in there when you come around, so it somewhat changes, but I'm like, I just really don't see where this game is fun. And I looked up, and instead of a couple hours, it had been 6. So, what was going on? What was I missing? Where was the fun in this game that I couldn't see? The next day, I put it in, I started playing, and I really started analyzing everything. Like an old school RPG, you got new weapons, you got to upgrade skills and things of that nature, and it actually did make a key difference in the way that you play the game. As you upgraded different skills, you would actually want to change and use something completely different. You change up your combo system. Your button combinations were different. As you were getting sent back to these places you'd already been, I realized I'm not just doing these repeat missions, I'm level grinding. And then it dawned on me. The old school RPG player in me was coming back to life. And I was loving it. Yes! Ah! Now while I do recommend this game, I don't say to go pick it up and expect that it's going to be something super fantastic. But yet it somehow is fun. And at the end of the 60 hours that I put into this game, I generally felt entertained. And felt like I accomplished something. And isn't that really the point of it all? To accomplish nothing and virtually everything at the same time? That's our episode for this week. Thank you for watching Single Player. I'm your host, Alan Nugent. Have a good week.